Hey guys, in this video series we're going to be covering the wide world of Swedish Mauser accessories. This video is going to be a crash course on Swedish slings. Try saying that 10 times fast. We're going to be showing the Swedish carbine slings, the Swedish rifle slings, and a few more. Since the Swedes adopted the carbine first, we're going to go over the sling meant for the M94 carbine. So the thing to know about this, the carbine sling, at least the legit carbine slings in the US market today, is they're pretty rare. They're not very common. When they do come up, they typically sell anywhere from like 3 to 5 times the price of a regular rifle sling. And there are some key differences to the carbine sling that make it different from the regular rifle sling. What's fairly common is to see people that actually will take a rifle sling and modify it to work with the carbine, and actually have one of those right here. So the sling that's on the 9414 here is actually a fake. This is it's a legit Swede sling, but it's a rifle sling that's been modified to work on the carbine. And then this is the real one here. And I mean, if you look these over, I mean, from a distance or whatever, you really couldn't tell a difference between these two slings. Now let's do some close-ups and I'll tell you how to differentiate a fake from a real carbine sling. So pretty much all Swedish Mausers work using this buckle system. So you can just see a long series of holes in the sling. And this buckle, we just have a little piece that just goes in one of the holes. And of course you can adjust it to any one of these holes to adjust the length. Just put that in the hole. That piece just sort of rests up against the leather right there. And then this is pretty steady. It's kind of a better attachment piece than it seems at first. I've never really had any problems with these, and the Swedish military didn't seem to really have any problem with them either. Now, like I mentioned before, one of these slings is fake and one of them is real. You would not really know looking at the two like this, but this sling here on the bottom is real. Now the way you can tell that this sling is real is by counting the holes in the sling. Now legit Swedish carbine slings will have 25 holes. So you just take the sling and you count the holes in it. So if you're at a gun show or something and you're trying to figure it out, just count the holes. This sling being the fake, so this is modified from a rifle sling. Rifle slings have 24 holes. So if you counted all the holes in this sling, it would be 24. So that's a pretty dead giveaway. I mean, it's just one number away. You probably want to count it a couple times before, getting somebody mad at a gun show, tell them it's fake. Yeah, just count the holes. Make sure that, it's actually, 24 or 25 holes. That'll tell you which one it is. So the slings obviously come around the other side of the gun, and it comes through a hole, a little slot that's drilled into the stock here. This is held in by this little buckle keeper. I like what the Swedes did with their keepers. Unlike the German sling, the German sling keeper, it just kind of fits into this recess and it can pop out, and then it's just kind of this weird piece of leather that's kind of just hanging there. Well, the Swedes, they screwed these into the stocks, so this stays put. You don't have to worry about it moving anywhere. It's really nice. I think this is a pretty nice side sling setup. I happen to just have a few extra of these little keepers here to show you. You can see that these two were used before. These, actually do have the screw holes in it. This is a sort of new old stock one. This is sort of a virgin keeper. It's never been screwed into a stock, so it doesn't have the holes there. Now, a legit Swedish sling, it just has, it's not quite perfectly squared off. It's just kind of a square that have the edges sort of rounded a bit. On this faked sling, they kind of cut out a little bit much. You can kind of see it kind of gives this thing a little bit of a pointed sort of look. If you see this on a sling, you kind of know it's fake. Also, you can kind of look underneath and kind of see if it looks like freshly cut leather. It's probably been faked. Now, the most common sling out there is just the standard Swedish rifle sling, and of course, that's just meant to go underneath the rifle. The rifle I'm holding is an M38, but they use the same exact slings for the M96 long rifles and on these M38s. Now these slings use a button and buckle method of attachment instead of a double buckle method like on the carbine. Now you'll notice on a lot of these slings that you'll run into out there, they have this sort of quick detach metal piece on the sling. This is something that was actually introduced around World War II, but it didn't get super common until after the war. So having this on a sling is most likely a post-World War II sort of addition to the slings, but they are really nice. I would say if you're going to actually look at picking one up, try to grab a sling that has one of these quick detach clips on it, because it is just kind of a handy thing to have. And here we can see the sling setup on a standard rifle. You can see the sling just attaches to a couple sling swivels underneath the rifle. Now most of the slings you'll run into have these quick detach on there, but you can just kind of imagine if it didn't have this quick attach clip on the sling, that this would just sort of loop and go through the sling slot there. The front attachment method is of course different than the carbine. It just uses this button method. It's kind of similar to the Swiss sling. You just kind of push the button through the slot cut in the other side of the sling, and that holds it to the front. Now if you needed a sling, maybe if you were going to be using your Swede for hunting or something like that, and you wanted it to be absolutely quiet, you might not want this little quick detach clip on there, because sometimes this can kind of ding around a little bit and make some noise. So if you wanted to be absolutely quiet, you can kind of take this off and just attach it the regular way. Now the Swedish Ljungman rifle here, the AG42, this rifle uses a standard rifle sling, except you could kind of tell that the sling is it's off to the side. So this is kind of in a semi-side sling method, where the sling does attach to the side up here on the barrel band. On the bottom, it's just a little off-centered. It's just kind of slightly left of the middle. It's kind of a unique setup. It sort of allows a little, easier carrying around. If you watch my channel, I much prefer slide slings, so I think this sort of slide sling orientation that's on the Ljungman rifle here is a little bit better than the standard underslung method. Probably they kind of had to do it with this big mag sticking out of the bottom here. I highly recommend, if you have a Swedish Mauser and you don't have a sling, to get a sling. They say a sling to a rifle is like a holster for a pistol, so pick up one of these slings. I think it adds something to the kind of historical value of the overall rifle. It also is just a handy piece just to have if you're going to take the gun out to the range or anything like that. Stay tuned for additional videos on Swedish Mauser accessories, and I'll see you next time.